Hello aspirants, welcome to Mission Possible IAS Academy. Aspirants, parts of Indian Constitution is also very important. Why? Because these parts are directly asked in the exam. They can be asked as a match the following, or they can be asked in a sentence, okay, in a statements, whether which part or which article comes under which part of the Indian Constitution. Okay, so in this class we will discuss about the parts of Indian Constitution. Originally, Indian Constitution consists of only just 22 parts, and later on one part has been deleted and 4 more parts are added to the Indian Constitution. Now we have 25 parts. So part 1 deals with the union and its territory. So articles covered in part 1 is 1 to 4. So these articles discuss about the India and its how the new states can be incorporated, or how a new state can be formed, how we can redraw the boundaries of the states. Okay, so union and its territory, article 1 to 4. And if you come to the part 2 of Indian Constitution, it deals with citizenship. So articles covered in this part 2 of Indian Constitution is 5 to 11. So here, in this citizenship, in what cases a person citizenship can be abrogated, or in what cases the person citizenship can be given, or a foreigner, in what cases a foreigner can be provided the citizenship, in what cases Indian can lose a citizenship. So everything is discussed in this citizenship from article 5 to 11. And if you come to part 3 of Indian Constitution, it is very important part. So fundamental rights are covered in this part 3 of Indian Constitution. So articles covered are from 12 to 35. So fundamental rights, what are the fundamental rights for the citizen, what are the fundamental rights that are provided for the alien, or what are the fundamental rights that are limited to the enemy aliens. Okay, in what cases, what are the limitations of fundamental rights, whether they are absolute or whether they are limited. Okay, so what happens if the state infringes upon your fundamental rights. So all these are discussed in this fundamental rights section. Okay, and if you come to the part 4 of Indian Constitution, part 4 of Indian Constitution deals with directive principles of state policy. Articles 36 to 51 are covered in this directive principles of state policy. So in directive principles of state policy are nothing but they establishes welfare state. They provide some suggestions for the state to implement to establish a welfare state. So it is the responsibility of the governments to follow these directive principles of state policy. So article 36 to 51 comes under this. And if we come to part 4A of Indian Constitution, this part 4A of Indian Constitution is added to the Indian Constitution through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act. Through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. Very important, you have to remember it. So fundamental duties, actually they are not in the original Constitution, they are inserted in this part on the in Constitution on the recommendations of Swaran Singh Committee. So article 51A comes under this. Okay, and if you come to the part 5 of Indian Constitution, it deals with union. So it deals with union government. Okay, who comes under the parliament? For example, the president. Okay, president, the prime minister, or who comes under the government, union government, everything comes under this. Okay, so article 52 to 151. And if we come to part 6 of Indian Constitution, it deals with the states. Means it deals with chief minister, the governor and the council of ministers at the state level, and it deals with the legislatures, state legislatures. Okay, so article 152 to 237 comes under this part. Okay, and if you come to the part 7 of Indian Constitution, the states in the part B of the first schedule, actually this is repealed. So Article 238 is repealed, okay, through 7th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1956. So 7th Constitutional Amendment Act, through 7th Constitutional Amendment Act, 7th part was repealed and Article 238 was repealed. So what does the 7th part deals about? It deals with the part B of the first schedule, states in the part B of the first schedule, okay. And if you come to the 8th schedule, it deals with the union territories. It deals with the union territories. So what comes under union territories? So what are the features of these union territories? For example, Delhi is a union territory with a legislative assembly. Puducherry is a union territory with legislative or legislature. And we have Jammu and Kashmir. We have the Daman. Okay. So all these union territories, we have Lakshadweep, we have Andaman Nicobar. So all these comes under these articles, Article 239 to 242. Part 9 of Indian Constitution, it covers the panchayats. So what are the articles that comes under panchayats or Part 9? Article 243A to 243O. So these questions are directly asked in the match the following, or they can be asked as a question, or they may ask in a statement oriented questions. Okay, so they are very, very important. So the panchayats are given constitutional validity or constitutional status through 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992, through 73rd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. And if you come to Part 9A, municipalities are covered in it. So it is nothing but establishing urban local government. Urban local government. So what are the articles that comes under this? 243P to 243ZG. 243P to 243ZG. Next part is 9B. So 9B covers the cooperative societies. Part 9B covers the cooperative societies. The articles that comes under Part 9B are 243ZH to 243ZT, 243ZH to 243ZT. So this 9B was inserted through 97th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2011. 97th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2011. And when it comes to Part 10 of Indian Constitution, deals with schedule and tribal areas. Deals with schedule and tribal areas. What are the articles that are covered here? 244 and 244A. 244 and 244A. So if we come to Part 11 of Indian Constitution, it is the relation between the union and the states, means center-state relations, or the relation between the union and the states comes under this. Very, very important. So in exam you can find such questions. So which of the following part deals with relation between the union and the states? It is the Part 11 of Indian Constitution. What are the articles that comes under this? Article 245 to 263. Article 245 to 263. And Part 12 of Indian Constitution deals with finance, property, contracts and suits. Deals with finance, property, contracts and suits. So what comes under these articles? What are the articles that are covered here? They are 264 to 300A. 264 to 300A. And Part 13 of Indian Constitution deals with trade, commerce, intercourse within the territory of India. Trade, commerce, intercourse within the territory of India. So what articles that comes under this Part 13 of Indian Constitution are, it is 301 to 307. 301 to 307. And Part 14 of Indian Constitution deals with services under the union and the states. Services under the union and the states. So Article 308 to 323 covers under this. Article 308 to 323 comes under this. And Part 14A of Indian Constitution deals with administrative tribunals. So articles covered here are 323A and 323B. So here Part 14A is inserted through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. inserted through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976, which is very, very important. Another important aspect, that is important part. So part 15 covers elections. Part 15 covers elections. Article 324 to 329 comes under this. Article 324 to 329 comes under this. And part 16 of Indian Constitution deals with special provisions relating to certain classes. Special provisions relating to certain classes. So article 330 to 342A comes under this. And article 17 of Indian Constitution deals with official language. Article 17 of Indian Constitution deals with official language. So what are the articles that comes under this? Article 343 and to 351A. 343 to 351A. Okay. And Article 17 of Indian Constitution deals with emergency provisions, which we will deal separately. Emergency provisions, which are very, very, very important. So these provisions are unique to Indian Constitution. These provisions are unique to Indian Constitution. So what are the articles that covered in this? 352 to 360. 352 to 360. And part 19 of Indian Constitution deals with miscellaneous topics. Means all the those articles which cannot be placed in any other part are covered in this. Okay. Article 361 to 367. Article 361 to 367. And part 20 of Indian Constitution deals with amendment of the Constitution, which is very, very important. So only one article that comes under this is Article 368. Only one article that comes under this is Article 368. Okay. And part 21 of Indian Constitution deals with temporary, transnational and special provisions. Temporary, transnational and special provisions. Which are the articles that covered are 369 to 392. 369 to 392. And part 22 of Indian Constitution deals with short title, commencement, authoritative text in Hindi and repeals. So these comes under, so which are the articles that comes under this? Article 393 to 395. So very, very important. So in exam you can see such type of questions. They may give the subject matter, or they may give the parts, or they may give the articles covered. So they may ask the match the following, which of the following matched correctly, or which of the following matched incorrectly. Okay, which subject matter comes under which topic. So such type of questions you can find in the exam. Okay, and here the parts that are added or repealed through the amendment. I already said you. So what is that? Part 7 of Indian Constitution is repealed through 7th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1956. 7th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1956. Okay, and part 4A was added through 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976, which is very important. And part 14A was added by 42nd Constitutional Amendment Act of 1976. And part 9A was added by 74th Constitutional Amendment Act of 1992. And part 9B was added by 97th Constitutional Amendment Act of 2011. So which are very, very important. 1 repealed, 4 added. Okay, total 25 parts. So you have to remember the parts, you have to remember the subject matter, and you have to remember the articles that are covered, which are very, very important. It will help you to gain marks. If someone are not able to remember these, the person is going to lose the marks, and the person will have lack of clarity. Okay, so if you remember this table, it will help you a lot. Okay, all the best. If you like the class, please like, share and subscribe. Thank you.